Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the Sun transiting the 8th house in a natal chart. Now, the transit by the Sun in a natal house on average lasts for approximately 30 days because the Sun travels at about 1 degree per day, and the average house size is 30 degrees. However, if your house is a little bit smaller, say it's 25 degrees, then the Sun will traverse the house for approximately 25 days. Now, if your house size is a little bit longer, say it's like 40 degrees, then the Sun will transit the house for approximately 40 days. Well, anyway, people, this could be a period, okay, the Sun is coming out of your natal 7th house and it's making the transition to the natal 8th house. The 7th house with the Sun transit may have been more about tact, diplomacy, and really being more people appeasing, more about partnerships, and really and there may have been a strong emphasis on popularity. Now is the time where you may be a lot more secretive and a little bit, you might come across a little bit more mysterious than usual. You may be very reluctant to divulge things in your life. Then you generally, you may feel this need to maybe suppress a lot of information in your life at this particular time. This might be a great time, perhaps, where transformation may be prominent in regeneration. This could be a period where you might feel this need to change something or make a real major transformation or metamorphosis in your own life. It could even include maybe by making a big change, maybe connected maybe with discarding things that are unimportant or things that are not that you see might be frivolous or they're not important, or there could be things that are holding you back. It could be something like negative relationships, for example. And really, it's about you might make kind of an overhaul and really do away with what is not effective and really and keep what is helping you and you think in your this particular time in your life. This could also be perhaps a time where deep matters may take precedence over ones that are superficial and frivolous. It could be something where you might feel more of a need to investigate things than usual. You might be involved perhaps in more like real deep, extensive research. It could be something where others' resources and shared resources might figure more prominently than usual. It could be something where you might be dealing maybe with a death of something or a person. Thing about this is the 8th house is connected with transformation and rebirth and regeneration. It could indicate that something may be eradicated in your life, but what it happens is an ending like that may signify a new beginning, whether it could be a job or career or what have you. And this is a time where you may feel that, okay, you may have a strong desire, if you don't have a will, say, to perhaps create one. And it could be something where inheritance might figure more strongly in this particular time than average, or there might be more. You might put more of an emphasis on things connected with inheritances. It might be something where you're making your own will and you're making some decisions over who may inherit what. So, and really, this could be a time where you really feel strongly about not being complacent. Sexual matters might be of more significance at this particular time. They might figure more prominently than usual. And there might be more of an interest in understanding things, perhaps connected with the psychological aspect of matters. There might be more of an interest even in psychology, perhaps even in things, something connected with astrology, the supernatural, or the occult. So those are some things to consider with the sun transiting the 8th house in a natal chart. And the thing about this is too, this is a period where really you might be a lot more introverted and more introspective than usual. When the sun was in the 7th house, you may have been more extroverted and be more about being sociable. But this is a time where you might focus on things that are very secretive, and things that you generally that are more private, and really you don't want it's something where you might really not feel really nearly as outgoing as you did maybe in general, regardless whether your chart signifies a more introverted or extroverted person. Now, this could be something where when you look at this transit, it's important to look at the sign that the house is in. I'm sorry, the sign that the sun is in during the transit. Now, let's say, for example, let's say that the sun is in Cancer for either all or the majority of the time that it transits your 8th house. This could be maybe something where you might be looking at a family mystery, or you might be looking at some 8th house matters such as sex, transformation, regeneration, with a lot of sensitivity and with a lot of emotion. So those are so. And another example is, let's say that the sun is in Scorpio for either all or most of the transit in the 8th house. This could be something where maybe there might be some transformation through a Scorpio-like thing, such as psychology or astrology, the occult, the supernatural, some kind of investigation, perhaps. Those are. And the thing is, it's also important to look at the aspect, if any, which I'm sure most people are going to have at least one or two aspects during this transit to look at. So anyway, let's say, for example, that the transiting sun is making a square in conjunct or opposition to your natal Neptune during this sun transit in the 8th house. When it happens, now you might feel your energy might be dissipated to some degree, a little bit more in matters connected with whatever it is as far as the transformation or the things that are 8th house related during this transit. It could indicate that maybe taking care of others' resources might be a little bit taxing to some degree, as an example, and might leave you feeling with your energy a little bit dissipated, a little bit more lethargic maybe than usual. But of course, those aspects aren't going to last for that long anyway. Now, let's say, for another example, let's say when the sun is transiting the 8th house, it makes either a sextile or trine to your natal Venus. Well, that could be auspicious for money connected with this sun's transit in the 8th house, say for perhaps maybe matters connected with others' resources, taxes, or possibly inheritance. So those are some things to consider as far as the sun transiting the 8th house in a natal chart. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the sun transiting the 8th house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about the sun transit the 9th house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.